What if nobody vaccinated? We'd go back to the dark ages. Well, let's think about it. How dark would it really be?
Right.
So let's go through the vaccines. Hepatitis B, it wouldn't make a bit of difference.
Yep.
Seriously. I mean, you could do Hep B for teens if you want, but it wouldn't make a bit of difference. Polio has been eradicated. It wouldn't make a bit of difference. Rotavirus, you can't even give it after 6, 9, 12 months because it makes older kids really sick. The data from my practice showed kids who got that vaccine were actually having more vomiting and diarrhea than the kids who didn't.
Wow.
It won't make a difference. Before we introduced the MMR, we were having about 450 people die of measles each year in this country.
Yeah.
Let's say we go back to that.
Yeah. Which is 1 in 10,000, I want to point out. Sounds like a big number, but that's one in 10,000.
1 in 10,000. When we introduced the chickenpox vaccine in 1995, they had to justify it on pure financial reasons. There were only 50 deaths per year, and that wasn't enough to justify the vaccine.
Right.
So I guess in the public health mind, there's something between 50 and 450 that means that, ooh, 450 is huge, right?
Oh my God. Yeah.
So chickenpox used to kill 50.
Yeah.
We had very little shingles. Now we have 100 deaths per year or more from shingles, and everybody's getting shingles. We traded a relatively minor illness that people always had, I had, you had, our kids all had, for something that's horrible. A lot of pain and suffering and more deaths.
Right.
So that's, we could get rid of that.
Right.
Don't even get me started on things like HPV, which other countries have figured out that this is a very, very dangerous vaccine. They don't even recommend it. But
for a problem we don't actually even have. That could be like if you have a gynecologist, you don't even have an issue.
The HPV vaccine, we really haven't proven that it's doing anything good. The DPT is the one that scares everybody, diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis.
Yeah.
Well, we get 1 case of diphtheria every other year in the U.S. It's been eradicated.
Right.
Tetanus is actually only a handful. There aren't that many cases. We just had one hit the press because they were in Oregon. So what's up with Oregon here?
Yeah, totally.
I actually saw that kid. To leave the hospital, they wouldn't let that kid out of the hospital unless they had a pediatrician. They didn't have a doctor. They were from a farm. I said, I'll take care of you. And so I saw him. It was a devastating case. Yeah. But he lived. And there are so few of those. I'm not saying, oh my gosh, the sky's going to fall. But no, the sky won't fall if we don't do that one. What about the pertussis, whooping cough?
Yeah.
So here in California, recently you had a school with 30 cases of whooping cough, all of them fully vaccinated.
Totally.
Completely vaccinated. And there were unvaccinated kids in the school who didn't get it.
Right.
That vaccine isn't working anymore.
Right. They can also carry it. They can get it. They cannot know they have it.
Exactly.
Symptoms aren't there.
So that's not working. So we're not going to lose anything if we give that one up. Hepatitis A. So as a pediatrician, I'm one of the busiest pediatricians in Oregon, and I have seen zero, I'm saying zero, none, cases of hepatitis A in my entire career. Oh, we should rush out and vaccinate, Del, because it's really epidemic on the West Coast.
God, you've never seen one case.
Not one case. Why? Well, we miss it. It happens. The immune system takes care of it, and you get better. Kids don't get super sick and turn yellow and die of chronic hepatitis. So
it could be there. It's just
it just passes through like another virus. Prevnar and Hib, the meningitis ones, because the organisms have shifted, they haven't got the vaccine to keep up with the organisms. They're not very effective anymore.
Yeah.
So, really it wouldn't make a huge difference. But like measles, there would be some deaths. When we start to realize, once we get these better vax to non-vax studies, and we start to realize that the chronic health problems are very significantly impacted by our vaccine program, now you start to realize you're killing people with asthma attacks. You're killing people with allergies to peanuts that didn't used to happen.
Totally.
People are dying of suicide because they're so anxious and depressed. You've got the autism, the spectrum, and autoimmunity is just through the roof. It's probably largely vaccine-induced. When you look at the magnitude of that, and what if that reduced to 5–10% of what it is now? And you had 450 die a year.
Far more lives.
Oh my gosh! So if we're going to look at the horror of people dying of measles,
I would still question whether it would even still be 400 or 500 people now.
I
mean,
doubt
we have so much better.
I doubt it because we've got understanding that vitamin A helps and take it as beta carotene. And I mean, I agree with you. I don't think it would be near that hard. Well, Dr. Paul, you don't care? No, that's not it. It's horrible. I've been with families who've lost kids. It's horrible for you. But I've also been with families who've had vaccine-injured kids, and that's horrible. So where is the balance? We need to stop finger pointing and you darn non-vaxxers, you're causing this, and you vaxxers are causing this. we're all in this together.
Yeah.
We all want the same thing. We want healthy kids, and we need to quit pointing fingers and insist on the data.